Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork, down to Noodles for another breakdown of Bartender Remake 2024. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are looking after yourselves. Welcome back to the chill zone. We're going to chill out with today's episode, which I really liked. It was nice to actually have a bit of a competition style episode. I really enjoyed looking at the different drinks. Much kudos to today's episode. Very impressed. Make sure you guys are subscribed. The midway review is out. Of course, we've now only got 4 weeks till the end of season review. This season has gone so fast, and I've got a big announcement coming your way next week. Basically, I'm going to be telling you guys next week, so I'm very excited to finally be able to talk to you guys about it, and it's big news for the channels. Let's just get straight to it. Today's episode was a nice one, but there is a big old reminder that the bar hasn't opened. 8 episodes. For 8 episodes, that guy has been paying to find somebody to open a bar in his hotel, to run it, pursuing Sasakura. He hasn't given up on Sasakura. He's been literally hiring a team of staff, paying that money whilst the bar remains closed for this entire time. It did initially look like they were about to accept that Sasakura wouldn't be taken on the role because they obviously hire someone this week, but it did seem at the end that he hadn't given up. And obviously, there's a little teeny weeny hint at the end that Sasakura's backstory might be finally coming to the front. There's only 4 episodes left. I think it's about time we do turn our attention to the main bartender himself. So we'll have to see where the story now goes. Now, this competition, I haven't had a chance to Google it. I'm going to Google it straight after I finish editing. But I've gone straight from watching it to getting this done because I'm running out of time and I've got so much on right now. So I couldn't really have a chance to Google it. But it really feels like this might be a real award. I'm really curious to see if there's something similar. Maybe it's based on a real award, but there definitely seemed to have been a winner last year. And the fact that there were so many different entries, which I found very fascinating, really would be interested in at least seeing some of these cocktails because these cocktails look kind of really cool. But it did finally feel a little bit like old style Bartender, where you'd see a drink and they'd be like, hey, this is how you make it. It's got all of this stuff in it right down below. So I was really happy to finally see some information on ingredients at the side of the drinks, which is really nice. The bit about Okinawa I found absolutely fascinating. I do have a degree in history, but I've never really got a chance to study Japanese history. So I found it absolutely fascinating to learn that Okinawa only really reunited to Japan quite recently. I think they said 59 or something. And that's still really recent in the grand scheme of things. So it was fascinating to realise that it hadn't always been that way. And it wasn't always just like this fully united island, because Japan is just a collection of really big, cool islands. It's absolutely fascinating. And I love it when an anime can actually teach you something. So I really liked it. But it was also interesting to hear some of the Okinawa dialect. This just reminds me of Germany. I learned Hochdeutsch at school, but then as I went to Germany as I grew up, I found out that Hochdeutsch is really only spoken up in Hamburg. There's also the one around Berlin. The further south you get, the more it gets mixed in with other dialects, and it's very different. I have a friend who is from Frankfurt, north-ish of Germany, and he even says the south don't speak properly, as he puts it. Obviously, it's just more like them mocking each other. In the UK, we'd be mocking Birmingham for not being able to talk properly. I guess it's the same here, where Okinawa has its own little dialect. They would say something quirky as opposed to something that I guess the rest of Japan would say, which I think is really fascinating. The competition itself, I found absolutely amazing to watch. I really do like this kind of stuff, and I thought I really found this week's episode entertaining. And I really do like the different drinks that we ended up with, and all 3 of them are really cool. But I did like the fact that it's this tense atmosphere backstage, and then you've got somebody cracking a dad joke, and then everybody can relax, everyone can chill out, and that really is what you need. You need somebody like that guy in a competition setting just to make people relax, or you're not going to perform your best, you're going to make more mistakes, or you're not going to be able to really get into it. The competitions aren't fun, but they're not supposed to be stress either. You're supposed to go into it and really just get the most out of them. And as somebody who's done many competitions for cosplay, honestly, sometimes the best times that I've ever had is just completely forgetting that I'm there for a competition, that I want to get this performance done, but I want to talk to everybody else. I want to go and see what everyone else is doing, because you're meant to get the most from these competitions. That collection of people, that collection of costumes or drinks, that's only going to be there in that room for that one time. It's never going to be that exact grouping of people ever again. So you really should enjoy every moment you get. Now, the first drink I knew would be the winner straight away, because it just is so well rounded. backstory to it, the way that she was very composed, very relaxed, and you could see she was very passionate about the drink, and it looks amazing. The blue water, it looks like an island. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's Okinawa. That looks like the very pretty tropical flower on the corner. You got that bit of ice around the edge. You got that little really nice blue ocean that I imagine that you'd get in Okinawa, and I've seen some pictures and they look absolutely gorgeous. I really liked this drink, and as for her herself, the way she was talking about it, the way she was saying like, look, it means so much to me and I want to share this with everybody, it felt like a winner. It really did feel like every single part of it was so well thought through and so passionate. It's just a drink I also would love to try. However, to my taste, the second drink is more my thing, because I love citrus. Everybody tends out to be a bit of a winner in this episode anyway, but this one in particular is really, really nice. I love the wild, abstract inspiration behind it, but you can tell she's really stressed. She looks stressed, and there's a moment where she's kind of like spacing out. The lights are hurting her eyes because she's done nothing but practice. It wasn't the same chilled, relaxed composition of the first one, but the drink was really cool, and that's more my taste. I love citrus tasting things. The second drink was more up my alley than the first, but I still would drink both. Now let's talk about Kelvin. We haven't seen Kelvin since his argument with his dad. I really did feel like he wasn't going to win it, because he was just so focused on getting his dad's acceptance, which he does admittedly open up about when he's questioned, and I actually am proud of him to come clean and look, I was so focused on this. He's actually not focused on the correct meaning behind what they're doing, what it is to have this drink, what it is to be a bartender, that I think we had in the comments also last week, is he's not really fit right now to be a bartender. He's too busy overcoming this stuff with his dad. But it does end up being a happy ending to everybody involved. Everybody gets their own like win. We have a winner, we have somebody getting a job offer, and somebody actually finally overcoming that gap with their dad and actually showing them what it is that they really want to do and being really driven to do. But I do like the look of this drink, and I love the fact that he puts it in one glass at the end, and he does change the recipe a bit in the sense of competitive gymnastics. If you do change your routine, you get penalized. I think he knew as well he wasn't going to win it, but he does get exactly what we want. His dad actually finally gives him that happy ending. Everybody has a happy ending. The first drink gets the happy ending because it is the winner for 2024. I love it. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I am going to go and Google the competition afterwards. I do like the logo. The logo for the competition is so good. You've got the Japanese flag and you've got this little cup right underneath it because it's a cup of Japan. This inspiration, this taste of Japan, which I think is really, really nice. It just looked great visually overall, and the bartender behind it was just so chill. Yuki is such a great inspiration behind the bar, and she's relaxed. She makes the customer feel relaxed. Learn during the episode is what it means to be the bartender. You have to make that person relaxed, and you want to make sure that they're happy when they leave. That drink is really, really pretty. I would be all over that drink and being like, yep, this is so pretty. I'm taking pictures. It makes me feel chilled out. I'm going to leave at least chilled out. Now, the happy ending for Kelvin is nice because his dad finally meets him halfway, so that you can come to Singapore, you can make this drink in my hotel, and I guess maybe at some point we might see him again if he tries for that cocktail competition again, because I can imagine his dad's finally seen that if he's actually that determined, if he does win that award for his bar in his hotel, that's going to be like proper prestige for his hotel. So he's probably found a way of monetizing it. It is a win at the most, so it's good to see Kelvin finally get his happy ending. And of course, with the girl, finally, I think her name's Kyoko, she finally gets the offer for the hotel. The hotel can finally actually open with a bar. That is a win, of course. They can finally stop bugging Sasakura for a little bit, because it seems they haven't quite given up on him. But she finally gets to find her wings when it comes to being a bartender. The drink was nice, and I like the fact that she has potential, and I think that's what Sasakura saw in her when recommending her. It really is all about the customer. So the happy story of Kyoko right at the end, coming full circle, telling the man that inspired her to become a bartender that it's time to move on. It's time for me to go and follow my own little path. And him saying that bartending doesn't end. It's a never-ending role where you're constantly learning, you're constantly making those drinks. It's such a nice tie-up. It's such a happy, neat little ribbon on top of the story, and Bartender's just so good at that. It really does do a nice job on tying things together. So I really do like this week's ending, because everybody's a winner. Everybody has achieved something. Everybody has grown, and that's what competition is all about. You can only have one winner. However, you can have your own personal goal that you can win against. Most of the time, if I am entering a competition, I don't strive to be chosen or qualify or any of that. I strive to get my costume out on stage to show everybody what I've been working on for years sometimes, and what it is that has inspired me to make the costume. Just share with them very briefly. Normally it's very quick on stage, a minute, even half a minute on stage. And all I want to do is show them a slice of what I love. And I think that's what bartending, this competition in particular, is all about, is showing them what is dear to you. And that's why I think the Okinawa drink is so great. It's so passionate and I love it. I'm so glad that it won. But at the end, we do see that our hotel guy has not given up on chasing Sasakura. And we've got a little hint that something is making him sad. So we're going to find out exactly what is happening with Sasakura finally as we enter the last 4 episodes. This has been such a cool series. I've really enjoyed it. I was skeptical at first that they were just going to give a remake to a show that had already done a very good job. And sure, the graphics are sweeter, nicer, but they've actually done so much for the story. I can't be angry. They've done so much for it. And I'm so happy that a new audience of anime watchers are getting to experience Bartender. Very, very happy with how it's going. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys can catch my video very shortly as I explain everything that's going on and all the changes that are coming our way. Cannot wait to give you my end of season as well. So stay tuned. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.